Welcome to a match of Tiny Leaders featuring Josh playing his Sydri Galvanic Genius and Ronnie playing his foiled out Yasova Dragonclaw deck. Don't know if you're familiar with Yasova, but she wins games. Game 1 hands. Josh goes first with Island into Ponder. Nothing from Ronnie on his turn 1. Josh Blooded Strands, Blur Underground Sea, and casts Baleful Strix, also drawing a card. Taiga from Ronnie. Josh pays 2 life for an untapped Hollowed Fountain and attacks Ronnie with his Strix. Josh then follows that up with Demir's Signet. Ronnie Punishing Fires the Strix at the end of Josh's turn. Ronnie plays Grove of the Burn Willows and Goblin Rabblemaster. Before combat, Josh swords to Plowshares the Goblin, gaining Ronnie 2 life. Josh lays Tech Edge and Stoneforge Mystic for Sword of Feast and Famine. Ronnie spends his next turn gaining Josh a life, and again Punishing Fires Josh's creature. Josh lays Celestial Colonnade. Ronnie, not wanting to lose his Grove of the Burn Willows to Tech Edge, refuses to play any more lands. Josh passes the turn back to Ronnie, and at the end of Josh's turn, Ronnie goes to Beast Within the Tech Edge, with Josh mana leaking the instant. Ronnie finally decides to play his 4th land anyway. Ronnie casts Jace Bellerin, with Josh casting Snapcaster Mage, flashing back mana leak, countering the Planeswalker. Josh deals 2 damage to himself with an untapped God of the Shrine. Josh casts Sword of Feast and Famine, equips it, and then hits Ronnie for 4. Ronnie discards his own Sword of Feast and Famine. Josh happily trades his Tech Edge for Ronnie's Grove. Josh plays out the rest of his hand with Wall of Denial, and then Sydri. Ronnie plays a land and passes. Josh activates his Colonnade and attacks with everything. Ronnie electrolyzes Sydri, and Ronnie takes 8 damage and discards. Josh untaps and recasts Sydri. Ronnie pays a life with Flooded Strand on his turn and casts Savage Knuckleblade. Josh is ready with Path to Exile, but Ronnie's even more ready with Counterspell. Josh once again activates and attacks. At 5 life, Ronnie takes his turn, looks over his and Josh's graveyard, and then decides to head to Game 2. Game 2, Josh keeps this as his opening hand. Ronnie mulligans, goes first, and keeps this as his opening hand. Ronnie starts by playing Volcanic Island, creeping Tar Pit from Josh. Ronnie ponders on his second turn and plays Wooded Foothills, Temple of Deceit from Josh, who also scries. Ronnie pays a life at the end of Josh's turn for a land with the Wooded Foothills. Ronnie plays Jace Bellerin and uses it to draw himself a card, Darksteel Ingot and Ponder from Josh. Ronnie plays High Market, very good in Yasova, draws with Jace and casts Grim Lavamancer. Josh Tectonic Edges Ronnie's Breeding Pool on his turn and casts Winter Orb. Josh tries to Path to Exile Lavamancer, and Ronnie pays 2 life to Mental Misstep the instant. Ronnie untaps and casts Destructive Revelry, destroying Josh's Winter Orb and also dealing him 2 damage. Ronnie pluses Jace, giving both he and Josh a card, and attacks Josh for 1 with the Lavamancer. Josh activates his Tar Pit and attacks Jace, killing it. Josh then Bajuka Bogs Ronnie. Ronnie casts Yasova and attacks for 1. Tar Pit hits Ronnie for 3 on Josh's turn, and Josh casts Preordain to scry and draw. Josh lays Celestial Colonnade. Ronnie hits Josh for 5 with his creatures on his turn. Josh casts a Wall of Denial, which Ronnie counterspells. Josh throws down on Sword of Feast and Famine. Ronnie plays a Sword of Feast and Famine of his own on his turn, equips it to Lavamancer, and hits Josh for 7. Josh discards a card, and Ronnie untaps his lands. On Josh's turn, he makes Colonnade a guy and goes to equip it with the sword, but it draws a Beast Within out of Ronnie's hand on the elemental land. Josh gets a beast, but since Josh is tapped out, Ronnie will be able to steal the beast with Yasova on his next turn and attack Josh for lethal. They go to game 3. Josh goes first game 3 and keeps this as his opening hand. Ronnie mulligans once again and keeps this as his opening hand. Josh preordains on his turn 2. Keeping a risky one-land hand, Ronnie fortunately draws into Wooded Foothills turn 2 and pays life, sacking it to get Volcanic Island, and casting Sylvan Library. Josh safely casts Wall of Denial on his turn, a hard creature to kill in this format. Ronnie forgets to Sylvan on his turn and just ends up passing the turn. Josh plays a land and passes. Ronnie remembers Sylvan and pays 8 life, drawing 2 extra cards. Ronnie pays another life with Windswept Heath and casts Goblin Rabblemaster, which Josh smothers. Josh once again casts Winter Orb, and Ronnie once again Destructive Revelries it. Josh again loses 2 life. Seeing Ronnie starting to get low on life, Josh activates his manland and attacks Ronnie for 2. Ronnie casts True Name Nemesis and names himself, but I think he was just kidding. Josh casts Lingering Souls for 2 spirits. The Nemesis hits Josh for 3 on Ronnie's turn. Ronnie then casts Grim Lavamancer. Josh casts Mental Misstep, and Ronnie casts Stubborn Denial with no extra mana from Josh. The Lavamancer comes into play. Josh plays Creeping Tarpit and attacks Ronnie with his spirits, one of which Ronnie kills with Punishing Fire. Ronnie takes 1 damage. Josh then flashes back Lingering Souls, making 2 more spirits, and Ronnie pays a life with Flooded Strand, but he gains it right back when Josh swords the Plowshare's Lavamancer. Ronnie attacks Josh for 3 with True Name Nemesis and casts Eternal Witness to get back Punishing Fire. Josh attacks Ronnie with his spirits, and Ronnie lightning bolts one of them. Ronnie takes 2. Josh then casts Baleful Strix, drawing a card. Josh then casts Sword of Light and Shadow, which Ronnie Izzet charms, countering the equipment. Ronnie preordains on his turn and attacks Josh for 3. Josh hits Ronnie for 3 on his turn. Post-combat, Josh casts Sword of Feast and Famine. Ronnie hits Josh again for 3 on his turn and passes. Josh starts his turn by duressing Ronnie, who electrolyzes 2 of Josh's flyers. Ronnie then draws and casts Mental Misstep. Josh casts Snapcaster Mage and Mental Misstep's Mental Misstep. Ronnie then Punishing Fires Josh's last flyer. Now that was an exchange. Josh equips the Snapcaster with Sword and passes. Ronnie declines to attack with a True Name and casts his Commander, but can't threaten either of Josh's creatures. On Josh's turn, he activates Tarpit, but Ronnie stifles the ability. So instead, Josh taps Tarpit for mana, activating Conclave and attacking Ronnie for 2. Josh starts to concede until he realizes he's about to win the game. Yasova can't take either of Josh's 2 creatures. Ronnie casts Savage Knuckleblade, gives it haste, and attacks with everything. Josh blocks the Knuckleblade with Snapcaster, and Yasova with Wall of Denial. Josh takes 5 damage from unblocked creatures, and with no other way of stopping Josh's manlands, Ronnie concedes, winning the game and the match for Josh and Sydri. That was quite the match between 2 3-color decks. Some good back and forth, and not one-sided. Josh and Ronnie played a bunch of games next, but those were the first 3. Some standout cards for Ronnie were his True Name Nemesis, and Punishing Fire. Goblin Rabblemaster would have done more had it not eaten removal both times Ronnie cast it. Ronnie only really got to use Yasova's ability 1 time, and Josh's deck is relatively creature-light anyway, though he does like his manlands. Winter Orb did next to nothing for Josh, though his Lingering Souls and Wall of Denial were more useful. Sydri was not so useful, but Josh prefers it over Meriki Rebri. The swords from both players were also pretty useful. Okay, that's enough cloning around. See you guys later.
It What is that? Apple?
So let's see here.
Interesting.
I have to block the Knuckle Blade. It's still 9.
It's not nice.
So 5.
Did you forget about him?
Yeah.